Hi and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. For everyone that's new, this is the Monday painting video. Now what's the Monday painting video? It's a painting video with a model or models voted on by you guys from last week's Weekly Wednesday, which is a weekly Q&A. And you guys vote on what models. I'll show you a host of models and you vote which one you want me to paint up. And this week the winner is the Rogal Dorn battle tank. So for all my regulars here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. So sorry about knocking the camera a few times there. This is a fantastic model, absolutely huge model. Now I was racking my brains for a few days on how to do it. I was going to go brush, I was going to do airbrush, I was going to do this, do that, blah blah blah. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to go with the airbrush to start off with, because this is a huge model, and there's certain effects I want to try and get on this. But the brush will do, but not as well, and the airbrush will do better. I've got this set up here just so when I'm spraying this stops the splashback. I'm actually going to go with two colours I've never used before, okay, because I really want to start pushing my palette out a little bit. I'm going to go with Deathclaw Brown and Carrock Stone, okay. Now I have no idea how these paints go on, how they dry, what they look like when they dry. I have no idea, but I'm going to give them a go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm obviously get the airbrush set up, but I'm going to get some lead belcher airbrush paint into the airbrush, and I'm going to give it an airbrush down with that first of all, because I want, with those colours, I want to give it a metallic look, but I need to do a silver undercoat first of all to get that. Now you can use a silver rattle can if you want to, you know, I should have done that, and I never order one. Oh, I don't need that, until I need it, and I go, oh, actually I should have had that. But you know, I have the airbrush, so that'd be just as good. So I'm going to airbrush set up, I'm going to give it a spray down with some lead belcher, and then we'll come back and start doing the first colours. So there we are. Yeah, nice and shiny. Now you'll see there's little speckle bits here and there on top there. Look, that's what I wanted. That's the effect I wanted. Now if I'd used the brush to do it, I would have got similar effect, but it would have been streaky, not speckled. Or I could have speckled it, and it would have took me a long time. So the airbrush was 10 minutes and it's done. So now I'm going to go with some Deathclaw Brown into the airbrush, and this is all base colours. Okay, so some people are going to go, oh, but I don't have an airbrush. This is just base colours. So you could do this with a brush, you know, a spray can, silver, and then a brush. Well, it's Chaos Black first, then silver, then you could do a brush, not a problem. But I'm getting the base colours down on these bigger pieces, and then I'm going to come in with the brush afterwards. So don't panic, guys. It's not a complete exclusive airbrush video. There's going to be more bits and pieces. So I'm going to set you up on time lapse, and then I'm going to get the airbrush sorted out, and you'll see me start coming in. Now, when I've used this colour, I'm not going to go and clean the airbrush out. I'm going to add some of this straight to it, okay, with the idea of when I'm adding it on, it's actually no, forget that, because I've got a different idea for this now. Forget that. I'm going with this one. The original plan, going with that one. Going to do the big panels, be on time lapse. See you in a second, guys. Right, so as you've just seen, this is Deathclaw Brown. Now, I'm mixed feelings about the colour because it seems a bit rustic to me, but that doesn't matter because we're going to go with some Carrock Stone. And I just found some of this Army Painter War Paints Cobalt Skin, which I think will look really good up against it. So there's two colours I'm going to go with. Now you can see it's still a little bit shiny wet. I was looking at stencils, because I have stencils. And this is a nice one, not the whole thing now, just a little piece of it. But then I thought, no, it's too big. It's going to be too, it's going to look weird. But I might still go actually. Just thinking about, I could use, just say that piece there, here, there and everywhere, and then switch colours and do it again, but just overlapping it slightly to give me camouflage. I think I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to leave this dry for 5-10 minutes and then give it a go, because yeah, I do want to try and get that, use some stencils and try and make it a little bit different. But anyway, I'm going to leave it dry for 5-10 minutes and come back to you again. Right, so I've set up a little wet palette. It's not a massive one. For the minute, I have some beaten copper, some retributive armour, steel lead and drab, and some iron oxide. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start with some iron oxide, and I'm going to paint the leather straps on here. And because of the silver base coat, it's going to give it a metallic-y look to it. So I'm going to go off camera and finish those off. Now I'm going to come in with some beaten copper. I'm going to paint all these exhaust vents, or the exhaust vents, these power bits on the back of them. But I'm not going to hit the acrylic. The acrylic's going to stay as it is for a minute. So I'm going to come in. I don't want to get in the little holes either. So I'm going to come over the top and just, it's not a dry brush, but it's not far from a dry brush. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera and do the other one and just give this one, right up in the camera, just give it a nice little tidy up here and there. Now I'm going to go with some steel lead and drab. And here's a good part. I'm just going to start doing the tracks. Now I've brought it down a little bit on the wet palette. So it goes on. Now I'm just doing the outside edge of the tracks. This brown. Because when I do my models, the gravel on the models is always dry brushed with steel lead and drab. So what that's going to do is give me an effect of like the dirt running through. Now with the tracks, I'm not going all the way down. I'm just going down as far as the eye can see, because it's going to be on the table, isn't it? So you're not going to be able to see any of that business. Now, steel lead and drab is a dry brush, a layer paint, so it'll go on bright and dull itself down. But you see how I've done this bit here at the bottom? It's quite brighter than the rest. That's what I want to do across it. So when I do the rest of them, I'll come back to the first one and do a little bit here and a little bit there, just to brighten up a little bit. Because then as that dries, that bit's going to be a little bit brighter than the rest of it, which is going to be good because it's going to give me different contrasts of the same colour, but also making more look like there's more dirt in that little section, or fresh dirt in that section. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I've got some of this Rogal red. Okay, again, it's Army War Paints, Army Painter War Paints. I think it's an airbrush paint, but it doesn't matter. I've dripped a drip onto the wet palette. Now what I'm going to do, you see it's still wet from the airbrush, maybe I had too much stuff in there. I'm going to take some of that red and I want to paint the barrel. See a mad colour. I like that colour, it's mad. Sort of mixing, going a bit pink and white on the wet palette. I'm going to come in and just do all the barrel. So I want the barrel to stand out. I might need a couple of coats, I think. Okay, so I'm going to give that a couple of coats of this crazy red, even though it looks like a pink there. I'm going to give it a couple of coats. The reason I'm doing that with the barrels is to make the barrels stand out from the tank, make it stand out from the vents. You know, and it just adds more colour to the back of the vehicle. Right, so I was going to use a stencil with the airbrush. I'm not going to do that now. I've decided no, that's enough of the airbrush for now. See, it's still a little bit wet here and there. But what I've got on the wet palette now is I've got, let me show you the wet palette actually. Cobalt skin, Carrick stone, and that's dungeon grey. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with the Carrick stone. Just going to pick an area out and start adding it on. Okay. It's not actually the best way of doing it because it's just gone a bit moody on me. Just do a little bit wet. Just water down what I'm trying to put on there. Yeah. Then I'm going to come in with some cobalt skin, and I'm going to wet blend it in. No, you're an idiot. I have to wait for it to dry. Right, so I'm going to get some Carrick stone, water it down a little bit, and this is what I'm going to do. Just come in like this, just do random little bits like that. Again guys, I don't know what way this paint dries, or what it looks like when it's dry. I couldn't tell you because it's the first time I'm ever using it, but I have to start expanding my palette because I know I'm getting comfortable, and we all do it, get comfortable with the same colours and you know how they work and you don't switch to anything else. So I've already done some on top there, so I'm going to just come in, just do a bit. This is the start of the camouflage on the tank. Yeah. So that top bit here where I've got the brown, I'm just going to come either side of the brown. Try not to get the brown so I can actually have the brown just still staying through. As you can see, the top, this bit here is still wet, so I'm going to come along and try and do this way, just around. Now I'm going to crack on and do the rest of it and come back to you when it's done. So what I'm going to do now is come in with some cobalt skin and try and get in between. I've watered it down again. And try and get in between those bits. I'm not overly happy with the way a few of these colours have come out. I mean, you guys chuck on below and let me know what you think. Because that brown over the silver looks like rust to me. It's not the best way of doing it. I'm not too happy with this cobalt skin either, to be honest with you. It's coming out a bit weird. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not overly happy with it. I'm actually gonna stop for a minute because I'm trying to go and do something against something that I'm not happy with, and I feel that I'm just making it worse. So I'm going to leave this for 10, 15, 20 minutes to dry, have a little think about it, and come back. I might just even come back with the airbrush and just do totally different, go over the brown, just get rid of the brown. I'm not sure yet, because I'm not overly happy with the way it looks, to be honest. I mean, you guys chuck on below and what you think, but at this point my plan was to try and do camouflage with the two different browns over top of the dark brown and then come in with some of the Dungeon Grey here and there just to break up a little bit. But I'm happy with the barrels. I think they look fantastic. It's a mad colour, sort of red. It reminds me of Warlock Purple, just a bit watered down. And that's what it is, Rebel Red. The Army Painter War Paints. So I don't know, because I was going to go Mephiston Red or something, but I said no, let's try this one out. I'm happy with these two bits at the back. Still the Aquillas ready for the gold, and the lights have the gold on it. It's just the plating I'm not happy with. So I might just go off and come back and just maybe go with a different colour, maybe just see what way I feel. Anyway, see you in a minute, guys. Right, I'm not happy with that, not at all. I'm not happy with the way the browns have come out. I'm doing it wrong, they're probably brilliant colours, but just the way that I put them on, what I've put them on, I don't think they work on it. So to me, that looks like a big rust bucket. It doesn't look, you know, a brand new Rogal Dorn battle tank ready to go, ready for battle. I was going to try and go with like a desert type theme, but that's not going to happen now. So I'm going to totally change direction. I was going to go back to the airbrush and get some Vulcan green on it, and then start bringing some edge highlight in. No, forget all that. I'm going to go with some Creed contrast, Creed camo. Okay, and I'm going to just get all those panels painted up. So I'm going to just come in, just get them all painted up, regardless of what colour is underneath it or not. Just going to give it a nice smooth once round. Now for me, because of what I've done underneath, if a little bit of it shows through, it's not going to matter. It's going to look like camouflage. It's going to look, it should hopefully look pretty good. Okay, there's where we're at so far. But I'm going to go off camera and just do the rest of it because I'm really not pleased with it. Okay, if it dries like that, it's going to look good. But yeah, we'll see when it dries. But anyway, I'm going to crack on. Right, that looks a bit better to me. It's still a little bit wet, even though it's been sitting here for over an hour. But that looks a lot better. Yeah, that sort of rustic effect that was underneath, that was never my intention. It was to be a desert theme. Looks actually pretty nice along here now. Even on this side, this part here looks quite nice. Okay, so let's crack on. Sorry about the cows in the background there mooing away. Now I'm going to get some Retributorama on the wet palette. And I'm going to come along. All of these Aquillas are going to get done. I'm going to do one so you can see what I'm talking about. The skulls here are going to get done. Just to break up, when you look at the Aquila there, I haven't finished it, but it breaks it up there. Things like the lights here. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to just get in the light. Because the silver underneath will give it a nice little look. Light on here, light down here, just the general lights around the place, and the Aquillas, like the one on the front here, isn't it done? I actually like that effect there. That looks actually fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to crack on with that and I'll come back and we'll have a look at what's next. Right, so for all intensive purposes, I'll just whip it up and show you. The Aquillas done, the lights are done. Yeah. For all intents and purposes, this is finished. Battle ready. Now I'm going to take it past battle ready standard. However, I messed up in the first place, so I don't think I've done it as much justice as I could have done. I mean, instead of going with trying to get a desert theme on it, I should have really just gone straight for a contrast paint and, you know, a green one. The next Rogal Dorn could be a red one, you know, and so on and so forth. But because I messed up, and then I realised I messed up, I contrast paint over the top, and contrast paint actually saved the day. Apart from the bits there, you can see it's still soaking wet in there, and on top here it's still wet. It's still shiny. But this side is dry. So as you can see, there's quite a nice effect there. But what I've got now, I'm going to experiment with another new colour, Waboss Green. This is the airbrush version of it. And what the plan is, I'm going to take a bit on the brush, and I want to edge highlight. I don't know what way this green's going to come out. It could come out really fantastic, or it could be really terrible. But I'm going to edge highlight all of these points. Sorry about those cows. I think it's feeding time. Edge highlight all these sharp edges. Bits like this as well. Now I might have to go over it a couple of times to get to the consistency that I like, but it seems to be okay. Again, because of the metallic base underneath, it is going to look a bit metallic as well, which is great. But I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll come back and show you the final result. So, we're done. Now, I'm not going to say this is a great model to paint. I didn't enjoy it. The reason I didn't enjoy it is I went for a desert theme, and it sort of just messed up a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. But as you can see, the contrast paint has actually salvaged quite a lot for me. Now, that Waboss green is actually a nice little green. So if you the highlights there, so if you just edge just the sharpest edges I've got, it's not overpowering. It's actually just nice and subtle. You don't actually notice it that well. You don't actually really notice it from this distance on the model, but you can see the hatch there is bright. You can see a few bits of bright green. That red's a nice red. Over there, I don't think I meant to do it over metallic, but it gives me like a metallic-y, purpley, reddy colour. It's nice. I like the tracks as well. Very simple, very easy. So unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, the model's done. It's not. I'm a little bit disappointed in myself because I wanted to really try and do some amazing stuff on this model because it's just such a great model. But it hasn't worked out that way. So some you win, some you lose. Guys, if you watch this video and you've enjoyed it, or it's helped you in any way, shown you these colour schemes that go together, or give you an idea if you mess up, this is what you do, or whatever way it works out for you, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss anything. Any comments you have for me, chuck below. I'm expecting a nice little barrage of messages. Some good, some bad. Guys, smash the thumbs up button for me so YouTube will trigger this video and share it with more people so I can get more comments, more information, more, people's points of view. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'll bring you down and show you some pretty pictures, but until next time, guys, take it easy.